Mr. Banks, the last time you were in Taos was in the 2008 walk.
Yes.
And back then you were walking for...
We had the sacred sites, and also it was a commemorative walk for the original walk we did 30 years earlier. And that was because some of the same issues were still there about discrimination, about bigotry, and about our relationship with this government. There was still very little recognition to the many of the rights that we asked for in the '78 walk. But a lot has happened since then. Of course, there were some good things that happened out of the '78 walk. The Native American Religious Freedom Act was passed. The tribally controlled school funding passed. A lot of big funding for tribal colleges, and also there was another act which was very meaningful, which was passed actually by Nixon during his administration, and that was the Self-Determination Act. We asked for Peltier's release at that time, and here it is, 40 years that had passed, and now Peltier's been in prison for over 40 years for a crime that the government finally admitted that they didn't. At the summation trial, they said Peltier shot both agents, cold blood. Then on the appeal, the judge asked them what hard evidence that they had that Peltier shot the agents, and they said, "Your Honor, we don't know who shot the agents." And the judge was very angry. He says, "Well, just a minute. You said 16 years ago that Peltier shot both these agents. Now you say you don't know who shot him?" He says, "Something's wrong here." So they wouldn't release him because they said he hasn't shown remorse for killing the agents. And how could he show remorse for something he didn't do? And that's been his position all these years with the parole board. But
so this year, the walk is about ridding Native nations of drugs and domestic abuse.
Yes, and that was a very hard issue. We had started planning on making a walk on drug abuse a year and a half ago, and that's what our early signs said against drug abuse. And then last year, of course, my granddaughter was killed very brutally, and then even they killed her, then they mutilated her body more by setting her on fire. And we added domestic violence because it was her ex-boyfriend that killed her and set her on fire. And so these are hard issues. These are probably the most emotional charged issues that I've been involved with. And but I now know that it's going to be my last hurrah, so to speak. I will do this for the rest of my life. And this Longest Walk 5, this route is going only the southern routes. That's Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, part of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and then going up to, Florida, and then Georgia, going up through the Carolinas, and then Virginia. So before Washington, D.C. The next one will be Middle America, starting from Alcatraz. Then the third one will be still Longest Walk 5, still getting evidence about domestic violence and drug abuse. And we're going to make a huge recommendation to the government at the end of this walk. One will be to decriminalize this whole drug issues because we're filling up our prisons with There's more people in prison in here for drug abuse than all of Western Europe has for all the criminals. Murder, rape, suicides, and not suicide, murder, rape, and robbery, and everything else. But America keeps arresting people for drug use, and prescription drugs are killing us as well. So,
how pervasive is this problem throughout Native country?
It is bad. It is very bad. It's so bad that we've issued an alert to all the reservations across the country that no need to wait for us. No need to wait for us, because the more that domestic abuse and drug violence is out there, the less that we are practicing our culture. And our culture is at risk. The beautiful culture that we have is at risk all across this country, because the more, when we see babies being born with that are addicted to heroin, that are addicted to drugs, it's time to call and halt to all this madness that's going on. This is the eye of a monster storm of drugs, and we just can't go on with this anymore, because the drug abuse is linked to domestic violence. Killing happens because of this, murders. Yes, we're at crisis situation.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, if people want to come join us now, we get to Washington, D.C. on July 15th. If they would like to join us, they could come. If they can help us financially, they can go fund me. We have an account there. So anyway, if they want to join us for the day, any of those states that I mentioned, come and join us for the day.
Thank you.